last time on the Empire's Edge.
This thing is not just following your track in the same curve. It's trying to cut that corner to get closer to you.
21 to hit.
Definitely hit.
I'm rolling 3 dice right now. This feels awesome.
Get out of the way. I'm going to try to push it into the pit.
Shoot the thing.
I'm going to throw a dart.
I wanted to kill it. I wanted to kill it.
Natural 20.
I wanted to kill it.
Nice.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Well done. As you fire that arrow, you don't see it fall. It just relaxes. Dead. Zelen, you're concentrating, and yes, there is another one 4 miles away.
With the direction that you gave us, we'll start heading that way.
Heading east.
You realize that there is a very large cave opening in the side of this mountain where it gets steep.
I'm willing to bet it's in there.
I don't hear anything moving. I say we move into it.
You can actually see there are forms that are held as though in amber, look like dog-sized versions of those same lizards.
Let's investigate this once we've killed the thing.
You can see across the width of the tunnel, the doors to it are stone, and they've both been knocked down, and from beyond it, you can see there's something moving inside there. Everyone rolling in it.
All right.
Ooh,
14.
5.
I don't have... There, 15.
For those of you at home, he was happy dancing in his chair.
It's good. It's a good day. Good day. Don't worry, it ended at a 37.
Yeah,
Oh.
right.
At 19, for a moment, it looks as though the monster, the lizard, is running straight at you. But then you can't see its eyes, and you realize it's turned from its perspective hard right, and it's running further down into that tunnel. And at this point, you can hear quite plainly the slap of its taloned-like, clawed-like feet as it's on the stone, running deeper into the mountain in that tunnel.
Okay, so away from the village, not towards it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh.
Jacob.
It sounds kind of weird, but I don't want to follow it down there because we already know this was one of the bigger ones, and the bigger one we fought outside was smarter than the last one. I don't want to run into an ambush. So
Right, yeah.
Do you go into the main tunnel? You're still in the tunnel across the way, the chamber across from this one, not in the main tunnel. Do you go just to verify where it's running? Or
move to the doorway, move so I can see down the tunnel that it just ran down,
Okay.
and take a gander.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you do just that, and you can just make out its tail as it's flicking, goes into the darkness, and it disappears. And then at 14,
Yeah, I'll move out actually past him into the main hallway.
yeah. So again, you just catch the last little glimpse of that just that way, and then 13, 12, 11.
5.
So and a little bit later, Zelen walks down the little rampway to this,
Done buffing
and
my
at that
nails.
point, it's already gone. It's disappeared down that hallway. But again, you can still hear it without even a listening check. You guys can hear this thing as it's running down this thing.
Well, I think the best for the time being would be to figure out what all this complex was here, maybe rest and recuperate, and then pursue it. We're going to have to get down here eventually. I'd rather stay here, so if it does try to circle back on the village, that we know before they would.
Because this was the last room that we needed to clear out so far, so we at least know that wherever it ran, there's no way for it to circle back on us from behind. We've cleared the majority of the complex behind us.
Right,
correct?
yeah.
There was a set of stairs in a room, and
But it was big. It was smaller than the set of stairs was smaller than the
right.
lizard.
They're
Okay.
very, very narrow, and you were figuring, well, this is probably something about like quarters, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they brought in stores from a different adjoining tunnel. You didn't actually go up there. We were just surmising, and nothing seemed to be, drawing you in that direction. But you're right, Jacob. Across this main tunnelway that you're standing in is apparently the last place to explore.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
So
let's take a look.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll still take point. There
Cool.
might be other things in there.
did you have light or some? You were doing your
Produce flame.
produce
Produce
flame.
flame.
That's what
Well,
it was.
I think produce flame and a torch, so we weren't
yeah,
just
we
in
had- we had-
darkness
we
had-
when
yeah.
you threw fire.
two-handed.
Yeah, all kinds of light going on. It's on the same level where the side you were just exiting from was on a slight ramp up. You actually walked upstairs to get to that area initially, and this area to come down to it was down a rampway. But then right across, you can see where there are massive doors that are blocking the tunnel this lizard just came out of, or have been blocking it, and now they're laying down on the ground, in the tunnelway in front of you.
Wooden doors?
What's that?
Wooden doors?
No, they're stone doors.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so the impression is that the lizard pushed them over?
Looks that way.
Wow.
Well, depends on how strong the hinges were.
Yeah,
That's true.
I know, but still, to move blocks, that's big. So do we want to, is there anything else in the space we're in that we should look at or be aware of as we just kind of take one final glance around the space that we're
I'll do
in?
that as a perception, Zelen. Go ahead and roll that perception to see what you just pick up out of it.
16.
You noticed that on the wall, you weren't sure initially if it was just a pattern in the stone on the walls or if it was just dirt that's accumulated, lichens, things like that. You realize there is a scene that's a mosaic on the walls themselves. And as you're trying to discern, like, what is that exactly, you can see that it does have the image of lizards. And as you go down a couple of, not exactly panels, it just flows Escher-esque from one image to the next, that you realize that there are people riding them the way that a couple of you were surmising before. And
So this was like a stable.
They really did
Some
ride
kind of
these
a
things.
transport depot, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I wonder if this is even like a changing station, you know, like you rode one
Yeah,
lizard
and
here
then-
and then got a fresh lizard and rode on.
and
Right,
left to
yeah.
their own devices with no one caring for them. I guess when they need to fend
They're
for
just
themselves, that's why
lizards.
they've turned
Yeah.
evil.
Right.
But they might potentially. We still found some of them locked up upstairs, or still encased.
potentially a lot of them. And
Yeah.
just the memory of it would have just been from a few minutes ago from your
Yeah.
character's point of view, that you came through there was a bunch of shattered
Smoky quartz.
smoky quartz. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word smoky. Smoky quartz. And it looks like it was fairly recently, like say within the last month or so, this quartz was shattered. And you would think that's when these lizards got out. They've
Yeah.
not been out running around breeding in this area. That was a very recent release from this stone.
I
Keep
wonder
this
if
in
we
mind.
did something. This is all along that Bravis Road. I wonder if us moving, we're going to have to be careful. I wonder if us moving along this road is waking up like
Well,
some
we
energy
encountered
or
one
some
when we
old
first
magic.
got to the road.
Yeah.
Unless whatever we did back at the waterfall, at the Horseshoe
yeah,
Falls.
exactly. Yeah, that we're encountering these ancient places.
Is there radiant magic in this place? Do you sense any sort of magic just in the area?
Yeah, you've got the ritual for that.
Yeah, I can definitely take some time and figure that out.
During that, we can kind of come up with our game plan for what we plan to do for whatever
So-
we find at the end of this tunnel.
Mhm.
So do you just hunker down like sitting on one of these doors, or do you go into a chamber to do this?
I think I'm going to sit in the center of the main hall where I could feel both spaces, the spaces where he came out of and the spaces where we just were, so I could get a sense for more space.
Depends
Okay,
on
just-
how much stone's required to block
Yeah.
the spell. What might honestly just be the net is you find a spot to do your ritual and then you walk around with it.
The other thought, just to keep in mind too, is a really big lizard just ran down that hallway.
True.
Yeah.
And we are electing to take 10 minutes right here anyway for
Yeah.
casting
so
the spell and not using up one of the spell slots.
I
You
can
know,
do
one
it
of us-
within 30 feet.
Yeah, so we'll have that going.
But it's blocked by 1 foot of stone.
So
Yeah.
you'll just need to walk the complex then.
Okay.
While she's doing the ritual, you take watch one way, I'll take watch the other.
Okay, so 10 minutes go by, your ritual's ready to go.
And I begin.
And you do. Almost immediately, the stone, even just adjacent to you, seems to relate a subtle magic of either transmutation or abjuration, that it's all kind of humming with a very low-grade magic. As you start to sweep in different directions, it's all about the same. You get pings again from Boris so up close with his sword. But as you turn toward the doorway where those stones have fallen down, you get a much stronger hit in that direction.
Okay, what about the direction that we were just in where the mosaic walls were? Is it
Yes,
stronger there too?
As you turn around completely, almost the same kind of hit as what you just got in front of you.
So this is definitely a magical space. The room that we're in with the mosaics and the room that we haven't yet been in have stronger magic, which makes sense because that's, I might be picking up the lizards encased in the smoky quartz. That's clearly magic.
Right, yeah.
So you want to continue moving
Let's-
down that hallway following the lizard? See if
No.
we can-
No, I
yet.
think we should
Let's-
explore the other room where
Right.
he came
Okay.
out of.
Secure the entire complex. Send word back to the townsfolk. Who knows? It's been a day or two. We might have bluebirds again.
All right, so you walk into the room right across the way the lizard
Yeah.
came out of.
Yep.
You walk what is a room, but tantamount to a hallway that's about 30 feet wide, very expansive. You could imagine these lizards with riders passing, two to a side easily and room to spare. And it opens up into a room that's even larger. And in that, you can see that it looks like it's almost, I guess the best term would be a nesting chamber. That it looks like something very large had hunkered down in here for a very, very long time.
Does it seem like a deliberately made nesting chamber or something like made it into a nesting chamber after waking up?
Well, let's do probably a survival or a knowledge nature, what you know about different creatures and how they nest.
Can we all do it?
Yeah, anybody could do that. I'm assuming Boris probably said that out loud.
Yeah, sure. Given modifiers are all the same, I'm going to do an investigation and inspect more kind of the structure of the room to see if it was, like I said, deliberately built to be a nest.
Okay,
rather than
perfect. Yeah, so
improvised as
we'll
such.
each do that.
Survival 15.
Investigation of an 8.
Survival 10.
All right, so Jacob, as you're looking around in this thing, and just the nature of how these things are bits of stone and dirt and debris and whatnot are scattered about, it looks very much like an interior version of how you've seen the spots where these lizards have hunkered down. And looking at the space, you would think that the largest of them have been hunkered down in here for quite a while. It actually looks like it might have been laying dormant for an exceedingly long period of time and then got up and it moved about. But you would think, yeah, this does fit what you've seen with those lizards before.
Gotcha. And then pointing at it, making those same observations, sharing that information with the two of y'all.
All
right.
Boris, structurally, you're not getting anything out of that the way that you were thinking about or intending to, but you do notice as you're going through that in the wall on the right-hand side, there is a door that's not made to be concealed, but it's definitely flush. It's almost a concealed or like a secret door.
Interesting.
Secret
Is
door
it, do
in
I
the
feel
secret tunnel.
do I feel a stronger magic around that space?
Yes,
Okay.
in that direction. That does seem to be the area and the direction that this hit's coming from, although it is all still around you.
Sure.
In a similar way that room on the other side of the main tunnel felt, where those things are being stored, something maybe in a different kind of stasis was being stored here.
Okay, so I'm going to share that with you guys.
Secret door, secret door, secret door. Yay!
Thank you for the obligatory Marvel reference.
All right.
Our mouse overlords would be pleased.
So do we go over to, I would say we would go explore that secret door.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'll open it.
All right, so kind
I
of
have the best armor class and hit points of the party.
Yeah, you're
Do you
bold.
want to argue this point?
No, I just didn't know if anybody had like a checking for traps thing they could do.
Oh yeah, it's called Boris opens the door and we see what happens.
Yeah. Best armor class and best hit points is checking for the traps.
so you're putting pressure on this spot, and you figure it out very easily. It moves quite well, and as you do put pressure on the one side, it hinges out in the opposite direction.
Not sure what kind of WD-40 they were using, but we need some.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
it's
we're
all
watching this, like we usually see Boris giving the door shiatsu. We're like, are you going to do it? Open the door?
Yeah, testing, tapping on it occasionally, just mighty boot, just kick it down.
well, it's on a pivot, so the whole thing pivots at about a 1/4, 3/4. So it pivots, opening into the room that you're in. So it's opening toward you when you pushed on the opposite side. There's a hallway in front of you that's about 40 feet long, and you can see it opens into expanse. And you can tell that there's something back there because the whole area is glowing. It is lit with a soft, purpley kind of light.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm thankful it's not breathing, but I'm also disturbed that it's magic. This might still be something's stomach anyway.
Is purple associated with good things or bad things?
Well,
magically?
when we've seen it before, remember in the waterfall area, we had that purple tower, that small purple kind of statue obelisk
Was it
thing
purple?
that was healing. It was amethyst.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
healed
that
us.
wasn't in the tower. That was in the ruin.
yeah, it was
we killed
underground.
the
That's
zombie.
right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, the ruin.
But yeah, you're exactly
Okay.
right.
So purple's not immediately off-putting. That's good.
Right.
That's,
and this could be very healing. We don't, if it's like the other place.
true. You want to
So,
continue
do
going
you-
first?
Yeah. I still have the highest armor class.
dangerous. You go first.
Yeah, right. I think I've been volunteered, so yes, I will proceed first.
All right, so you said like weapons out and at the ready and all that kind of stuff, right?
Of course.
So you walk the length of that 40 feet, and as you're getting closer to it, you're recognizing the opposite wall of this chamber you're heading toward in view. Looks very jagged, very rough, not even like hewn stone or natural cave. It looks crystalline. And then as you get right to the edge of this, it is a spherical room, not cylindrical, but in that spherical room, you can see that it is all amethyst stone.
Wow.
Jeez.
It's a gigantic amethyst geode.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Wow.
Is you're walking into an amethyst geode.
What are the odds that you still have a little bit of time left on your detect magic?
I have no idea. I would say they're excellent.
What's the duration of the spell?
Up to 10 minutes.
Yeah, so you still got it.
I'm guessing.
So the two,
Blinding in this
Jacob,
room.
Zelen, you've walked up right behind Boris as he's
Oh, yeah.
paused right there, and you see that it is what looks like the inside of a geode, a massive, massive amethyst geode.
I'm going to go to one of the walls and touch it.
You do, and you are aware of that abjuration and transmutational magic seems to like pulse through this area.
So this is very strongly magical.
Very nice.
Neat.
Did anybody have any
What
wounds
do?
from our last battle? Last battle?
I have wounds, but I treat them with the bottle, not cause them with the bottle.
Just breaks off the end, ready for the bar fight.
Do you?
Are you still injured at all from that battle?
yeah,
or are you
I'm
back?
just
No,
wondering.
no. I used like half of my lay on hands to heal myself up.
Everybody roll a perception.
Ah, yes, my +2 modifier.
That was a 12.
That's a 4.
That's 23.
Okay, so Zelen says, I think we can walk down into this thing. You're looking on the floor as it curves downward into the very, very base of this, and you can see that either crystals were removed or were shaped this way, that it's stepping just like almost like stones across a creek, but they're lower spots, they're flat, and there's not a jagged crystal. You can step from spot to spot, and as you're looking further down with that, you said 23?
Yeah.
Yeah, way above the DC, that not only could you walk in here single file, once you've gone in a little bit, it looks like you could break off into a number of different paths and take spots at different points around the inside of this geode.
Oh, okay, so
Wow.
I'm going to describe that to you guys and say this is very similar to that chamber we were in with the niches, whatever,
Yeah.
spaces in the walls. Maybe there's something that can be activated here too.
And
Maybe.
This
as
place
you're,
is cool.
As you're
I wonder
pointing
what
it
will
out,
wake up now, given you are convinced that the lizards had anything to do with us.
as she's pointing that out, you can see the stepping stone-like nature of
Right.
it and how it goes into different directions.
Maybe
Does
it'll be
any-
a friendly lizard this time.
Yeah, does anything about it...
mushy friend.
Does anything about the nature of this room or potentially... Because the walls are all just this geode material, so there's
Correct.
not really any furniture or...
No, nothing at all.
The
Yeah.
furniture is
you-
pointy walls.
You would not want to sit down
Yum.
or trip, yeah.
Okay, I mean, yeah, let's investigate.
I've got no better suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you moving into this thing?
Yes.
So I think of normal dexterity, if you have a dexterity of like a 10 or higher, then you don't need to roll anything. You're just stepping into this and you're just being careful as you go.
Very confused for seconds because mine was only a +4, and then I realized, oh, wait.
You're like,
Yeah.
you must be
Dexterity-
godlike.
Dexterity is my lowest, but it's a 14, so I
Yeah,
think
so you
I'm
guys are okay. Now, when you get to the first, so who's walking into this first? Zelen, were you taking a
I-
point?
I'll
she
go
took
first,
point once we
yeah.
got
Yeah.
into this room.
Yeah, so as you're walking down into this thing, Jacob, you're right behind her, and then there's a point where you could follow her, or you see you could break off to the right-hand side and take a slightly different path.
I feel reasonably safe in this room. I'll forge my own path.
Okay, yeah, so you take that break.
and then I the other.
Okay, and then when you get to the next one that breaks off to the left-hand side, so you're all taking different points, and as you get to wherever you feel like you're going, they come to a stopping point, and you are at a fairly decent triangle, equilateral triangle at different points, and so between you, it curves, the floor of this curves slightly beneath you. It doesn't look as though you could have any more than just 3 people inside this thing, but those 3 would be it.
Convenient.
So we're each down a little bit of a hallway with a dip in the center of us.
Like pathway, you're all in the same room. It's not actually a hallway.
Yeah, and how many of these were around the room?
He said just 3.
It was just those
Oh.
3.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then each one at the end of the hallway has a triangle in it that only 3 people could fit in.
No. You are.
Sorry.
We're all in the same room. We walked
yeah.
walked down some essentially stairs and then took separating paths within this room amid the forest of crystals to stand in a particular clear spot about like 3/4 of the way down the big ball we're in.
But we
Gotcha.
can-
So
we can
you
see each
3 make
Because we're in the same room.
a
Yes.
triangle.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right. And the force of this, the stones themselves that are encrusting the entire inside of this sphere are never more than about shin height. You're not having
Oh,
to.
okay,
they're
I
not
see.
like up to your eyeballs. They're not even close to your knee. They're definitely shorter than that.
One more reason not to be a halfling.
Watch out for those pointy
Boris,
bits.
Boris, touch something with the sword.
Okay, I will.
You do, and that seems to be not like a typical activation, but roll your knowledge religion
A
as you do
sufficient
that.
catalyst.
Yeah, something like that.
The entire room melts around us. We're surrounded by lizards. Ah!
Yeah, right. Everything all just
It
blows
turns
up.
into blue amethyst lava.
Yeah,
Oh,
it launches out and is actually a Langolier for those of you that get that reference. 16.
You get the feeling that on a religious level, a spiritual level, this requires something like the same concentration that you three had to work on together when you were up in the tower of the Sky Servant, the invisible tower.
But focusing on what?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good question.
That'd be the good question. There's been no
Yeah,
indication.
I share that awareness, but the what of it is still a thing.
So what do we want to try? Do we
Well, we
want to
start- we
try a
Let's try
place
focusing
again?
on the lizard. See if this
I was
is a
gonna say,
weapon.
All right.
It's the closest thing, and I think we started last time with the throne, so it might just be worth doing again. But yeah, starting with the lizard sounds good to me.
All right. So as you unify yourself, you're thinking about those lizards that are over in storage on the other side.
No, the one that ran away.
No, it does not
The
take
one
you in
that
that
got
direction.
away.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
I
want to
think about what the
lizard.
purpose of this place is. What was this place
Yeah,
like?
we did show me what the black stair was. Let's see, show me what this place was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you're focused on what this place does,
Right.
and it does, like on a mental level, not a visual level, take you to the storage place right across the way. That somehow this area is connected to that storage place for the lizards.
Where the
area.
lizards are. Okay.
This is a really weird control room. All right.
Let's-
Yeah. Is this how they're supposed to be hatched?
Oh, there's an idea.
Hatched is not the word I would have used, but seems that
Yeah,
way.
but you get the idea.
Hatched
Okay.
is a
So
fun
let's focus on that question.
Decanted.
All right, let's focus on the lizards in the storage room. See if that does anything.
Yes,
And-
let's wake them up and fight them.
Hey, if we can imprint on them right after
Maybe
they're
we
hatched,
could ride them. We could go places a lot faster.
because we found saddles right over those kind of
Yeah.
decrepit and
They were decrepit. They're all completely fallen apart, but it was the basic structure for them. And
we could use that to potentially mock up and make a new version.
yeah, at some point. So as you're
Though
doing
it's not like
that,
there's a ride skill we can take penalties on for not having a proper saddle anymore.
Zelen, as you're close to losing your detect magic spell, as you're doing just that, you can see that this abjuration magic is growing both here, and even though it's out of your range, you're aware of it. It's over there too. And roll your knowledge arcana.
18.
You recognize too that without like the proper practice or control, you think that this system, in essence, could be overloaded. It's like it's full of, for lack of a better term, called vibrational magic, vibrational energy. And it builds and builds and builds because that vibration seems to be what actually shatters the stone around one of these lizards. So uncontrolled, unpracticed, it could be very damaging to whatever's wielding it, as well as whatever's at the other end of that being controlled.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's like somebody just turned the power up on something really high.
Right.
When you guys focused on that, and you're like, okay, that's a hit. We're doing this exactly right. Ooh, too fast, too hard.
Right.
And it could be a dangerous thing.
Yeah, so let's step back out of this. Maybe if we keep exploring, there's something we could find somewhere that would tell us how to use it.
See if there's a manual.
Ye old instruction
exactly.
booklet. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or what spell maybe could be cast to figure it out.
I have a bit of historical nerddom about Yi, but no.
All right. So, is there? Does this room go on, or is this we're
No, that's
kind of at a
that's
dead
as
end?
far as it goes.
Okay,
yeah.
so let's.
I like
Withdraw
this.
and-
Are you guys ready to get out of here and go back to the?
Yeah.
Okay. All
So, and as you're
I'm
you're
glad
all
that the DM volunteered that the party's ready to
Yeah.
move
Are
on.
you guys ready? Yeah, they're
See,
ready.
No one listening would have known that was my voice had you not.
I like to credit our listeners with hearing.
They have pretty reasonable perception checks.
Honestly, Victor, when I'm listening to our podcast, sometimes I can't tell if it's you or me talking.
Okay.
And
One of us sounds like you, and the other one sounds unbearably smug.
Oh.
Sorry. All right.
again, Zelen, as you exit the chamber, you're the last person out of it. You got the idea that without practice using this thing's moderating it, there must have been people here that were trained to use this magical item, that if you just concentrated full blast on that chamber, you could release all the energy and all the crystals that are encasing all those lizards all at once. It'd be tantamount to like a volcano erupting or lightning striking. From our point of view, it'd be like a bomb going off in this place.
Got it.
It's that potentially, cataclysmic.
Well, if we ever want
it's
to close the
too
tunnel,
much.
we've got an option.
Tactical nuke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
With lizards.
at the same point, you also suspect that if you concentrated maybe on a particular one, and maybe that's part of the learning as far as which one we're concentrating on, you feel pretty confident you could release one of these things.
Okay.
And I don't mean by you being you specifically, but
The group.
the
The
group
royal
of you
you.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah, we've learned a considerable bit here. We were talking about potentially not necessarily going back to Shepton, but at least talking with them or seeing if we've gotten anything back from the druids.
Yeah.
They're expecting you still to be at Shepton.
Yeah, Zelen, do you have any power to make things fast? You
Oh yeah,
you did
she can make me fast.
Yeah, but
But even me running, that would take forever.
Well, I could actually transform myself
Into a rat, yeah, you told us.
into a deer.
Oh,
or
you have more
perhaps
options.
A fox, and
What's
I
faster, a
could
fox or a deer?
A deer.
and I could run back to town and check to see if there's how they're doing and if the bluebirds are back.
Yeah, and all their hunters are dead, so you're not in any danger. Too soon?
Not for you guys. You would know them. She might find
They're
some more physical
NPCs, they don't
remains
count.
out there. Yeah. So is that your
Are we
plan
good
then?
with that?
Yeah, let's do that.
yes,
Okay.
so we'll stay here, kind of prep camp so we can recuperate and keep an eye out if that lizard returns.
Stay near the amethyst room because if anything comes to fight us, we can just go and it's like, oh, I took a hit and run, get healed, come back.
Boom! Well, it's not a healing
It
room.
didn't
it's a
heal, yeah.
bomb.
Oh, darn. I thought that was the same transmutation or whatever it was.
Yeah, no, the idea is we blow the place up and secure the tunnel because it's all rubble.
I guess
we just happen
Jacob-
to get buried.
Yeah,
in the
Jacob doesn't
rubble.
know that.
I-
Jacob
I-
has this.
I
Like,
could have said to you as you
confidence.
exit it, you feel like you're at your maximum health.
I am a man.
You are, man.
Because you were when you walked in.
Great.
All right, so
It didn't hurt you, technically.
just as soon as Zelen leaves, then
Yeah, we're just waiting on her to
waiting
get out
her
of here.
to.
That is a
what are you
concerned
looking
face.
up, Zelen?
I don't know how.
What
How do I do that?
You
Wild
just
shape.
Wild-
make
yeah.
the change. You just have the ability to change your
Oh,
shape.
it's not a spell or anything.
No.
It's just
no,
a
it's
thing.
one of your
it's
abilities.
a class feature.
That's even cooler.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I am now a deer.
Voop.
Hasta la pasta.
You've always been a deer.
So the deer turns toward you, raises one hoof like a goodbye sign, and
Does it-
says "Hasta la pasta."
Does the one can the deer speak? Two, does the deer Z snap before departing?
No,
it like claps the hooks together like
it-
clop, clop, clop.
it can't talk. No.
All right. So
But
I'm
we
gonna,
heard it.
Yeah.
We heard it in our like ego.
There you go. Thank you. And I'm going to take off towards town.
Okay. Yeah. So you're running in that direction. So the only place that you three haven't explored inside this complex, if you wanted to check it out to see what's there, would have been up that narrow little staircase.
Might as well.
That'd be the only place that was left.
Let's do it.
We've definitely retrieved the torch, right?
Oh crap. Well, she can't hold it anyway,
It
so
went
I think
thunk.
and I think yeah, picking that up.
She leaned against the wall. So you have torch, and you're walking back across the way, and then through the room to the left, and then down a hallway into what looked like a gallery room, and the staircase is in that. Goes up and it curves to the left.
Okay.
I assume we make it there, no problem.
Yeah, there's nothing else there that's going to interrupt you.
Anything in there of interest or trying to eat us?
No, when you get to the top of the stairs, and you've come up probably more than a single typical flight of stairs, you've
Mhm.
gone maybe 15 or 17 feet further up. It's an area that you
Are
would
there construction standards nowadays?
what is
there
code?
Is there a standard number of stairs?
That you're in a common area and it still has some of the stone furniture in here. You would think almost typically that this would be a place where guards would hang out or people that are manning any kind of a waypoint or a checkpoint, tantamount to a place where you would change horses, change riders, get a bite to eat and get some rest. Adjoining it, there's also a room that would be very barracks-like. And adjoining those two rooms, there is what is obviously a kitchen area. The only other door out of this place goes through a storage area, and all the storage is long since gone. And it seems kind of strange that there would be a storage room up high in this place. You have to take all of your material and food and everything else up through these places. But you find an adjoining hallway, and that leads you right back out to the cliff face that's the outside.
Oh, nice.
It's partially vine covered and root
Interesting.
overgrown, but you could definitely still exit through this area if you wanted to. And if you built a campfire up here, it would definitely draft, up through that too.
This is a great
Yeah,
place
that
to
seems
stay.
like then the best spot.
Definitely has a retreat spot if you need it.
Right, and we're relying on hearing the lizards if it returns or if there's more somewhere in here.
Yeah, the big one would have a difficult time getting up that little staircase.
True.
Right, yeah,
The-
I meant
the-
hearing it in the hallway so you know it's coming.
Yeah, you probably would.
Because
So-
the whole point of us staying here, not going back to town as a group, is to be an intercessor.
Nice.
Yeah, and prevent lizard from eating people.
yeah, coming back out and doing just that.
Yeah. So that's
So the only other place that might be of interest to you guys would be at, again, look back or go back to the room where the lizards are stored, because you did do something in that geode meditation
investigate that.
chamber, and just see what else is happening
Yeah, let's
there.
take a look.
Again, walking back down through the complex, just a few minutes,
walking
and you're
sounds, I
there.
don't know.
And as you walk into it, that same
We're doing some
Walking
nice
sounds.
Foley for us
Yeah.
walking down the hallway.
More
Yeah.
work for David later to edit back out.
Yeah. No,
or
I can
just
do that.
leave there. As you get back into that space, there isn't a brighter light in here. There's no other physical change. The lizards are all still the same size as they were, like in kind of like an embryonic state, very small. But you do note, and make it as either a knowledge arcana or as a straight intelligence check.
Yeah, that's going to be intelligence for both of us.
Yeah.
19.
13.
Yeah, actually.
All right,
excellent
country
on
boy,
the
tell me
19.
about magic.
Right? I rolled a 17. I was pretty proud of
Hey,
myself.
he's a spellcaster.
True.
Technically.
That what you
We're both spellcasters.
Yeah, I know, that's
We're
what-
also not the spellcaster of the group.
But that is the point that I'm making, that you believe it has something to do. There's a connection to the way that you access energy, that you're aware of it in this place, almost like it's still resonating in here, that little bit of concentration that the three of you did over in the geode room has made a change in the space. You just think it's a slow change. But over time, you do think that one or more of these cube areas that a lizard is in will break apart, will shatter, and these things will be getting out again. It's just a matter of how long. It would be like you put something on warm in the crock pot, and you come back hours later and it's not quite cooked yet. It's a matter of how many days or weeks or even months it'll take with your level of concentration to break these things and to free them.
Incubation period.
So we may or may not be responsible for past lizards, but we are definitely responsible for future lizards.
Exactly. You definitely
Good to
are.
know.
Because with you said you rolled a 19, Jacob?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's just like a straight, what was your modifier on that?
I don't have it proficiency, so for Arcana that was just +2.
Yeah, that's an excellent roll. That you guys have set this into motion.
Nice.
You know that these things,
Nice.
some of them, or at least one
If
of them,
they're useful.
will be released
Because what I want
sometime in the future.
to do is
Let's
that
kill them now so we don't have to fight them later.
I should say those. Like, if they potentially could be useful, I want to take this time that Zellen's running back to town. I'm going to get some of my map making supplies out and actually create like a schematic for if we were going to rebuild these saddles later, that we'd have something that we could take back to town to actually use fresh materials to make saddles for these
Yeah,
things.
excellent. Great use of time. Okay, so
And
Zelen.
let's just hope when they wake up that we're here to go, hey, be friendly. Don't be, normal lizards.
And I brought that up before. I think they're only evil because they had to fend for themselves and they were just looking for whatever food they could get. If we provide for them from right to the get-go, they'll probably just be like any other animal. Pet.
And we'll find out. But Zelen,
Yes.
you are running. It is an exhilarating experience that you are running like a deer through the woods. I mean, you've been out in nature all of your life. I guess ever since you moved from the Confederation of Duchies down to the Brimroar Hills or near that area. But to run this way is just fantastic. And the time goes by very quickly. And then you find yourself as a deer getting into the fields that are right there at Shepton.
So I'm going to transform back into myself,
Mhm.
so I can walk into town looking like a human person.
You do?
And I'm going to walk into town, probably go to see the graves.
Yes, you
Just-
go to their house, and everyone is already like congregating around you. And the murmur is all, "What happened to Jake? What happened to Boris? Or are they done? Do the lizards kill them?" And it just doesn't quit
Right.
as you're walking further through town.
So I'll let the town know that what we've seen, what we've done, that no, Jacob and Boris are both fine, that I came back into town to just update them that there's one lizard that still remains, but we believe they're trapped deeper into the cave. We're going to take care of that lizard. We've taken care of the giant lizard already. We understand where they're coming from. just kind of give a general update.
Okay, good. Yeah, they take that. The Graves receive it very, very well. And of course, they want to feed you, make sure you're well rested. And they're asking you if you're going to be staying here or you're going to walk the whole way back to wherever Jacob and Boris are tonight.
No,
this afternoon.
I just need some quiet space here. And then I'm going to go back to Boris and Jacob because I need to update them.
Okay, so they just usher you into their house and not one of the hunters' houses further down the way. And again, amid all of that, the word goes out through the town that everyone is just so relieved that all three of you are all right, the problem seems taken care of, that there is joy everywhere.
Hey.
And then you're in the Graves' house, you're resting, relaxing.
And so then I'm going to
Preparing.
ask for some time to go into the garden. And I'm going to go into the garden and call to the bluebirds to see if there's any bluebirds there that want to speak with me.
Okay. And when you do just that, you could do speak with animals and talk to anything that's there. But the ones that you would expect from the druids have not come back yet. You were guesstimating tomorrow morning. You think they'll be close to you.
Okay. Okay. So then I'll rest here.
And then I guess we're just making camp.
Yeah, we
Up
found
in
a
the
nice place to
complex.
sleep. We knew she was going to be quick, but I don't think we were expecting her back today. Because traveling through the woods in the night sounds like fun for all three of us, not one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Given that I can't see in the dark, that sounds like no fun for any of us.
So you're talking about spending the night in the complex, the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then just seeing whether
and I'll just
Zelen
stay with
comes
the
back.
Graves. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then next morning, actually, let me roll just to make sure.
99 and a D100. Asteroid attack. Well, this is about to go differently.
No, listening.
Asteroid attacks rather than asteroids.
So through the night, Boris, Jacob, you don't hear the sounds of a lizard emerging from the tunnel coming back out. Do you do anything else in particular to set up a camp or to block the tunnel in some way?
Before we bed down for the night, I just go ahead and I cast my alarm spell again to give me 8 hours of a warning. So if anything comes into that area, I'll get a mental ping that will wake me up.
Okay, great. Where do you actually cast it? What do you focus on?
I'll put it at
Past the crossway, so anything coming from within the tunnel would set it.
I think that makes the most sense.
Okay, so middle of the hallway, just past where the doors
Yeah.
are broken. Okay, perfect.
And I'll
yeah.
Obviously omit small animals and critters and things like that. Only
So
something
size
big.
wise, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Excellent. Boris, any precautions or things?
I have very limited spells that
Mhm.
way. Most of my spells are hitty in the moment, so no.
Okay,
It's just going to be reading through Timothy and Stanislav's journal,
Okay, great. So you guys set up camp
accumulating information.
in one of the rooms upstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the barracks where we know that the campfire will draft out correctly.
Yeah, and there's enough stone furniture up there, permanent stuff, that it's just a better, a little more of a homey area to go.
Right.
You spend the night, and there is no problem. There's no encounter that comes
That's
through
my
the night.
favorite kind of problem.
And, yeah, no problem. And your alarm never goes off
Very
in
cool.
the entire nighttime.
Oh
Zelen,
no, we overslept.
the alarm never went off, but I set the alarm. You wake up the next morning, refreshed, relaxed. You go out into the garden. You're preparing your spells.
What I'm going to go out is just see if there's any of the bluebirds that are interested in communicating with me. Do I have to cast Speak with Animals?
No, not when it's the ones that are communicating. You can always
Okay.
cast Speak with Animals and talk to them. But it was the ones that they're sent by the Druid Circle. You just talk to them.
Okay.
You just call out to them, and if there are any nearby, they'll come to you.
Okay.
Wow. Gotta love a permanent magical effect.
That's sweet.
So you do just that, and it comes over to you. And one of the bluebirds does come, flies right up to you and lands on the railing to the porch of the house you're staying in. And you hear, in a weird way, you can hear June Tannel's voice, but it isn't really June Tannel's voice, but
Right.
it seems reminiscent of that. And it says, Zelen, we sense a greater resonance in all of our abilities and suspect that it has something to do with your discoveries. The Brimroar Hills begin to vibrate with a new, subtle energy. Trust yourself and what Ludmilla taught you. The bluebirds are always near.
Okay.
And then it says, Boris, I must be brief. And the tone you're getting from this one is that it's almost like the Baron of Warland's voice. You get that something in the tone The implication is
Timber.
different.
I thought
Or-
it ended at Warren. I
word-
must be brief. I thought
I'm-
he was going to go Jacob.
Yeah, right. I must be brief. I can offer no resources until you return, but in my name I charge you to secure the region and secure any knowledge that can aid the people of Warland Baron.
Okay.
Jacob, and again this is from the Baron of Warland. My territory includes all of the Brimroar Hills, but my authority effectively ends 100 feet into the hills. I contract you to map the region of the Brimroar Hills and return those maps to me when you're able.
Okay, so I'm going to reinforce those messages so I can repeat them when I get back to my friends.
Okay.
Very cool.
And I thank the Bluebird. And I'll give them the update that we have. Let me think. That
Yeah.
we have.
What are your salient points?
Right. That we have found a space of. Sorry. That we have found a space of great magic. That we are exploring it to understand it.
Okay, and it gives you an affirmative symbol or a sign, and it flies off.
Okay.
All right. So what do you do? Breakfast, whatnot, rest up.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Change back into a deer to run back to my friends.
Okay, and sometime still in the fairly early morning, no later than 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so we're getting set up, getting ready to move forward again.
We hear the clip clops of hooved feet on stone walls.
You probably would, yeah. And
Stone walls.
Stone walls, yeah.
I'm a spider deer.
Spider deer
Ran up the side.
does whatever a spider deer does.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Or it isn't like a D shape, a floor, and then a curve of an arch over it for the tunnel. It's just a tube, and the deer goes running up the sides and goes around like a spiral into the thing.
Not Tony Hawk, Tony Deer.
I have arrived.
But yeah, you guys come walking downstairs from above. Everything's been clear. You spent the night just fine. And Zelen comes walking up, changing back from deer into her human self.
Where were you, young lady? We were worried sick.
Getting messages from the Bluebirds.
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't.
And so I will share the messages that I received with the two of you.
Well,
Yeah.
he knows my name.
I love my orders or follow your orders.
Right.
It's like you're the only one that actually got anything from that. It's like the Bluebirds are always near. Yeah. Trust yourself. Who else could we trust?
Well, it is definite confirmation that what we're doing is
Yeah, we
waking
are
up magic.
Changing
That's
things.
very
Yes,
true.
it is good to know.
Yeah.
I was hoping for having a bit more of an army to go, sending around and fighting things.
But you are aware of that too, and it comes to mind when you hear what he had to say for Jacob. You go, that really is a point. He's complained about that for the entire time you've been in Warland Barony.
Yeah.
That half of his barony, or even a little more than half of it, is a place that he has no control over, can go. It's just that everyone agrees that's all part of Warland Barony.
It's yours because no one else wants
That's
it.
exactly right. Yeah, it's yours because you're the closest person to it. All right, so once you guys are all set, what do you do?
Any place left in this area to explore?
No, we've looked at
and
the last
we'd
place.
update you on what we found
Oh,
there.
we've rested.
Yeah, so we take the benefits of our long rest and we set back out to the tunnel where we saw the lizard run the other way.
And start moving in that
and
direction.
Start moving.
All right, so you're walking only for about 10 minutes, and each one of you, whatever it is that will be your closest I'm aware of magic thing, if that's an arcana, if you have knowledge religion, if you're that kind of a spellcaster, or just a straight whatever it is your
Perception.
magic focuses on, if it is intelligence or wisdom.
Ooh.
15.
Unnatural 20.
Oh,
Well done.
nice.
17.
Yeah, so everyone's rolling just fantastically. And so, like I said, after just 10 minutes of walking, you start like looking at each other in the, I'm going to say, the light of the torch. I'm not sure if Zelen has her light going right now. And like, are you guys feeling that? And it's from ahead of you that you're getting that same concept of resonance, of an energy that's being amplified, and it's somewhere ahead of you, and it's growing stronger.
I'm always concerned by sensing energy with, senses rather than the sense energy powers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's so
this
powerful
is
that it
either
just-
great or it's skin-tingly awful really far away and we're about to get de-skinned.
Do we hear anything? I mean, do
Take a listen.
our normal perceptions tell us anything?
Normal perception is an 18.
16.
Yeah, so both of you, Jacob, Boris.
You didn't roll one?
She rolled one.
I literally rolled
Nice.
one. I forgot to change my ears back.
That would be even better.
Yeah, right. Wouldn't that improve your hearing?
The two of you, gentlemen, as you're like taking in the senses, you note a whole array of things. Nothing that you're like perceiving as like, there's magic coming out of the walls, but you do note that the air is getting like a kind of a fetid smell to it. There's an acrid nature to it as you're moving further forward. There's less debris the further in you go. That it looks like it's a more abandoned place than the outer place had been, but nothing about magic or
Fetid
energy.
marshy or fetid rotten?
More like a fetid, well, kind of
Like
a combination
stale?
between those two. Yeah, not more than stale. Like something has been like building up and rotting further down in this place.
Neat.
So I could change myself into a mouse and just run forward and come back and see.
How many of those per day do you get?
I thought I could just do whatever I wanted.
No, not at will.
So you go to the druid class.
Oh, here we go. Second level, quarter or hold for 1 hour 2 times. Recharges after long or short rest. So I just but I just used it again.
Yeah,
So I have
you've
one
got
more time.
one left today.
So I have one left today.
And then you won't be able to change back.
And as you walk on for another 10 minutes, you can tell that like stagnant to the air, that there's something been building here. It's like going into a cave and there's guano in it. And over a period of time, the buildup is so strong that it's just part of the air itself. And the further you go into this, the stronger that grows, the more it's growing, until after you've walked for maybe about an hour or so, you're not moving at a very hurried pace.
This is a long tunnel.
Well, again, you're
2 miles long. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
We
But-
figured that out last time.
yeah.
Jeez.
But you've walked in just about a mile of it, however much time that's taking, about a mile further in, and then you're aware that on either side, you're getting the same types of doors that you saw in the outer complex
Those
when you first got
big
there.
stone doors.
Stone doors,
Also
the little
knocked off?
staircase on the side. No, they're still intact.
Okay.
But you can see that this area seems to be set up like they had like the same blueprint for this area, this way station partway through, and it's set up that exact same way. The same like stone doors everywhere, but everything is open. Nothing has been like sealed off or closed up.
Okay. In the radius of the torch, do we have any indicator about what might be reducing that rotten smell?
It smells like it's coming from further down the tunnel, but go ahead and roll your, let me think, what would that be? I guess a perception.
Yeah.
And perception is like all of your senses.
Yeah.
11.
Anybody else?
Oh, yeah, I'll do it too. 9?
I'm stopping using this dice. It's the
Oh,
second
man.
one.
Yeah.
Stuck at 1. You're not positive, Boris, but you think it might be coming from further down the hallway and not from the rooms on either side
outside
right
the
here.
torchlight, yeah. That was more to a visual thing, like, do we see a zombie standing there? It's like, I bet you're stinking up the place.
Nothing like that.
Well, nothing immediately, unless we want to investigate these doors, nothing immediately that makes us want to stop or, like, with the smells. Like, is there anything that, like, is screaming, like, stop, danger, or is it just you're noticing the area starting to look a little different?
Go ahead and do that perception again, Jacob. Actually, make it a survival check
Natural
for you.
20.
Oh, excellent.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Survival.
roll a survival too.
All right, so natural 20 perception is 23, and survival is an 11.
So, as you're noticing that, you're thinking about, what, that resonance of there's like energy all through this place has grown increasingly stronger to the point you're not aware of it like incrementally popping up or going higher, but you're aware of it at this moment it is a lot higher right here. And Jake, you look to the ground and you can see the very distinct claw mark of one of these lizards where it made a right-hand turn and went into what looks like the same tunnelway that would go into the place where you first saw this lizard back at the outer complex. Like it turned a corner to go into that area. That'd be
Okay.
the chamber that was like a storage chamber and
Point
led
that out.
to
Right.
the geode.
I wonder if there's more of those encased lizards. Do you want to explore these rooms?
It's worth a shot.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, yeah, very easy walking up the rampway to the other side. It's a different arrangement, but that side does not have the storage area for lizards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it still feels like a
does it-
mirrored kind of like across that tunnel. It's
a
the,
repeated complex.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Does it have any of the murals on the wall, which would give us an idea of what the space was used for? Or
Yeah,
is-
go ahead and
what-
do the
what do we notice?
investigation with
Now I'll
that.
assist you.
Thank you. A 3.
You grabbed the same dice.
I
again.
know I did. +6. I'm switching
Well,
dice.
Well, that's
yeah,
advantage, so you're
Yeah.
rolling it twice anyway.
There we go. 17.
Much nicer.
Thank you.
You've
Yeah.
noticed that the symbols or the images have changed on the sides. It's not a repeating pattern. And that right here in this middle chamber, or the middle area of the tunnel, you can see that there are images of a much larger lizard, or maybe a couple of larger lizards. And they seem to be like, parenting, maternal and paternal images of these things, and a lot of smaller lizards around them. So it's been telling a story. There's a narrative to it. You've not been following the narrative, but apparently there were large lizards and they were in captivity, or an agreement was made, or whatever it is, and that they've been using these lizards all this time.
Okay. So I'm going to share my observations. Do we want to explore? So there would be 3 rooms on each side of the main tunnel if it's like the other space?
No, most of the rooms were on the same side, the left-hand side of the
okay.
tunnel. It was only that storage room where you first encountered the lizard, and then that meditation chamber was off to the right-hand side. And that's the way this thing seems to have turned and gone.
Well, let's see if we can track it first.
I agree. Let's
Yeah.
follow it.
And I'll look for those. The claw marks, they gave me the idea that they were fresh, or just that it was a popular travel lane.
You would gauge fresh, the way that the claw of it, like the nail of it,
Okay.
scratched the stone, that you would think that that would have been leveled out. Other things walking over it would have
So-
leveled that.
Picking back up on that track, I'll see if I can figure out a direction that they may have continued moving. Ooh, 21.
Yes, into the area there'll be like the same room, the same equivalent as the room you first saw, that one, and then it looks as though it's continuing down the narrower hallway that would go toward the amethyst geode-like room.
Okay, and I point that out, and you guys want to keep moving that direction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take point.
All right, so taking point, Boris, you get right up to the end of that hallway, and again, there is another one of those meditation chambers. But this one's very different, that in the geode itself, there is a stone stair. Like if you take one of those triangular point paths,
Sure, yeah.
you get to close to the wall, and a spiral stair goes up and
Just
starts
Out of
winding
the geode structure.
out of the geode structure itself, and winds up to where once it goes around the bend of it, you can't even see the stair. It's not an exposed stair, but it winds up.
Right.
above.
Is it big enough that you could fit up it?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
people could walk up this thing.
Should we go up?
Yeah.
And as you're going up, you can feel that energy is increasing. You're heading in the right direction for whatever this energy is as you're going up, and it goes a long way up. As you're rotating through this thing, that about every 6 or so revolutions of going completely around, you've gone up probably about 100 feet or a little better than that.
Wow.
So you're going for a long time. And as you're counting all those rotations that you go up, it feels like not just those 6 rotations, but you do that 5 times.
Oh my gosh.
So it's an immense number of these rotations you're going up.
Huge. huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
And everyone rolling a net.
Oh. You-
Yeah, right.
Unnatural 21.
Nice.
8.
What?
You can't roll a natural 21.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Maybe she could,
Not
because
on
she,
normal
always,
dice.
she always rolls one better than me, so she probably could.
Honestly,
You see-
fair.
See Natalie in the garage with a file and a die, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
Adding
there?"
another face.
And
to
Boris,
it.
what was yours?
5.
So as you're walking up, as you get to one curve, Zelen goes, "Look, it's the lizard!" like that, and you two are aware of it, but it's nose toward you, just around the curve, but it is not moving.
Perception check.
Does it stink like
Roll it.
dead
Roll a
up here?
perception check.
I'll help you.
Cool. 15.
You think it's dead,
Oh.
And it's laying on the stairs dead?
laying on the stairs, dead as it was coming down the stairs.
Okay. We'll move towards it. Want to figure out what killed it?
Yeah.
Well, can we pause for a moment? Let's just listen. Can we hear anything running away? Can we
Yeah,
hear?
go ahead, listen.
12.
Modified 20.
Nice.
Boris,
for
you
being
hear
a good
what's
listener.
tantamount to a hum. It's nonstop. It's consistent. It might be that energy building you've been feeling, all you've been feeling, but it seems as though there's some sort of a power source at the top of the stair, and you're probably within about 3 revolutions of it, like 50 feet upward movement.
Magical hum or lots of things moving?
What'd you roll?
Modified 20.
Yeah, you would say that it is both. It's like a
Ooh.
magical hum, but there's also something else that seems very physical
Yeah.
that's also creating a hum.
Yeah, I'm wondering about like flies, but that'd be a lot of flies.
Or bats.
Or big flies.
And put this way too, that smell, that fetidi kind of smell, that acrid, you've been leaving that behind, that it's something in the tunnel. It's not up here.
So it's not the dead lizard that smells bad.
Yeah, it's
No,
not the
'cause
dead rotting lizard that
the-
smells like
the-
dead rotting
well,
lizard.
Yeah,
it's
and
not-
how old is the lizard?
Yeah,
How-
it couldn't be if
right,
it's the lizard.
just died sometime last night or this morning.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's the lizard we've been chasing.
Well,
it's-
how far away do you hear this buzzing? Does it seem like an immediate threat and danger?
About
or,
50 feet up, but in linear distance, that's still going to be about 3 rotations of this thing.
and
going
how close
around.
is the lizard?
Well, you're right at it. You're right at its nose
Okay,
right
so
now.
well, I'll take another look at the lizard, see if we can find out a cause of death. What killed
Okay,
it?
so do a knowledge nature,
I'll help
survival
you.
I
check.
share what I'm doing. So
I'll help you. Yep.
Nice, that was a good one. What am I rolling? Perception or
Nature.
investigation?
Nature, he said.
Nature. Oh,
Though I think medicine would probably be the best of them
If
all.
you have that.
I do not have that,
Yeah.
which makes that a modified 20.
You are quite sure this thing has been stung to death.
Not
Oh.
flies.
There are numerous welts on this. Could be
Yeah.
spider, could be scorpion, could be bee, could be any number
Is
of
there a
things.
consistent placement of 2? Or are they singular, and are there any stingers actually left
Yeah.
in?
Want me to re-roll or does the modified
No,
20
that
carry
20
over?
was plenty enough. Singular points of impact, singular points of like where it's been stabbed. And yeah, they're actually like a stinger-like thing, like a barb is still stuck into not all of, but most of these wounds.
So that
Gotcha.
implies bees.
Yeah. Does
Big bees, looks
big
like.
bees. Yeah. And
Unrelated to the one that makes all the magic hand spells.
I guess passing it on to the druid, the one with the really good information and knowledge of animals like this. Does this seem familiar to you in any way? What are we getting ourselves into?
I
So
can
nature?
Roll,
I think I was
12.
helping with my question, right? Maybe, assistant? My description was really good.
Still a 12.
Very good.
That there are a number of stinging insects,
Right.
but nothing this big,
How many stingers?
So
Just like a rough count of the number of stingers.
like a dozen.
Ugh.
so what do we want to do? Do we here's what I'm wondering.
Hope my armor is better than its scales.
What if we cut the lizard's tail off, threw it up into the air to see if we could tempt anything down to try to sting at it or do it so that we would know it doesn't matter if it's bees or if it's hornets or if it's clearly a stinging insect, a large stinging insect.
Well, the only thing that would matter, and this is not something that Boris would know, this is something that Victor knows, if it is a bee, it'll sting once and then because of the structure of that stinger, die.
Yeah.
If it's a wasp, it'll sting all day.
And
Got
we
it.
don't know how far this thing may have come from its battle, so there's no dead carcasses of bees that it may have been fighting.
Correct.
So we're led to believe that
And-
this has been stung.
And as far as
multiple
throwing it up
times.
into the air, you're not in an open like spiral stairwell. It's like you're in a tube that has stairs at the bottom of it
Oh.
that's curving up and going around and around and around.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, no
Yeah,
reason to
we're in more of a hollow tower than...
no reason to back down now, though.
Yeah,
Let's push forward.
All right, so you're pushing forward. You get up.
And you're first,
I
Boris?
am.
Yeah, no. The one spell that both of us need to know how to cast that does not take a spell slot is Boris goes first.
As you're moving up, that feeling of that magical intensity, that vibration, is becoming synonymous with a hum. And after like another turn of the stairs, another revolution.
Actually, before we proceed, I'm
yeah.
going to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay, how long does that last?
That might actually be a good point.
Okay.
One round. Oh man.
10 minutes.
Okay.
As long as I concentrate.
Got it. Anybody else doing any kind of preparation?
Nope. All of mine are kind of in the moment.
Got it.
I'm digging on a 20 armor class because I am best.
So another revolution. You are a number of feet higher than what you have been before, and you're all at this point hearing this vibration, this hum, and it's definitely louder. But you're also noting that whatever this energy is, it also seems louder too, or stronger too. Zelen, roll an Arcana check.
17.
That you are experiencing the same thought that you had when you guys were in that other amethyst chamber, and that if you guys had concentrated for too long, it'd be like tantamount to an explosion, like something's going to shift or do bad things. You feel that something is actually doing that now, that there is an increase of power that could go catastrophic if it's not checked.
Wow. So I'm going to share that. I wonder if it's these creatures that are
disrupting it somehow. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So we want to dispatch these creatures so it doesn't happen.
Do we want to take a minute and see if we can all concentrate on calm? Like, is there a way that we can shut it off just by our
I think
alternative
less calm,
concentration?
more extinguish.
But you're trying that right now?
It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and do that, and everyone roll either a knowledge arcana or a straight intelligence.
Okie dokie.
11.
19.
6.
Boris, you are positive that there isn't a way to control it in this space or in this location.
I think we need to get to particular points. Let's advance and hope it doesn't need all of us, because some of us need to fight the critters.
Okay.
All right, so as you're going up higher, you're actually aware within the next revolution, getting very, very close to being out of this thing, that the hum is more like a buzz now. And you're thinking about whatever these stingy things were that attacked the lizard just a little bit ago, or whether you found a little bit ago. But you're also getting a lot of fresh air. It seems as though there is an opening above here that leads to the outside again. You're getting close to that.
Well, and a few thousand churning wings will create a nice breeze.
You smell fresh air.
Thank you for listening. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Empire's Edge. You can also now listen on YouTube. If you'd like to learn more about the characters and background, go to mattsinkovich.com or theempiresedge.com. Support the podcast on subscribestar.com/the-empires-edge.